Hey everyone, before we get started, I just want to let you know that Kevin's audio was a little messed up and staticky. I think it was might have been because of like a storm going through Davenport. That's where he's from. Or maybe not. Maybe just sucks at setting up his recording equipment. He likes giving me crap about it, but his is messed up before too. So, so this episode's all his fault if it sounds weird. But other than that, I think the episode went pretty well. So, Anyway, on with the show. Hello, welcome to the Hodge Podcast, the official podcast of CountryHodgepodge.com. I am your host, Steve Hodge, and joining me as always is my co-host, cousin, and lover, Kevin Hodge.
Oh, hello, everyone.
We had a good weekend, or a tiring weekend when we had to go to work on Monday, but
concerts on Sundays. That's rough. Because I feel like it's just the continuation of the rant we had before, or I maybe just had, where concerts on like weeknights and like Fridays just being a pain in the ass because you can't drive to get to them, even if they're like relatively close. So like Saturdays are clearly the best days for concerts. Yes. I feel like I'm going to lump Sundays in with that, and although I can drive to get to said place on Sunday and watch the concerts all day, driving back home at night on Sunday night and then waking up in the morning for work sucked ass.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. Yeah, at least I only had an hour to drive. You had 3.
Yeah,
but though it was worth it because that was the best lineup for a festival since Willie's Picnic in 2015. Yeah. Because, Friday and Saturday both had good artists playing, but, it was, 2 artists a day worth seeing, or 2 or 3, and so we didn't want to spend the money for those, and Saturday was sold out by the time I would have bought tickets anyway. But Sunday, it was good from the second artist all the way until the end, even though we left after Luke Combs, because...
Well, I won't want to say it was good... It was good all the way, all of them from Muscadine Bloodline on were good, with the asterisk next to John Langston still sucks ass.
Yeah, he played Forever Girl, which was awesome, because that song is really, really good.
Yes, but then he followed that up with, the dubsteppy sounding song.
Yeah. I realized he was one of those guys who, tries sounding and looking like Brantley Gilbert, and it was just all right, dude, come on. I mean, I got nothing against him, but his music was...
Yeah. I thought it was funny that he's one of the only artists out there that, even if they don't know how to play the guitar, usually they just have one, and they pretend to play it,
That's
or
not
learn
plugged in.
a chord, just dude, just keep hitting this G chord repeatedly, your fucking volume's down, just whatever. But no, he just came out there, no guitar or anything, just held the mic with 2 hands, and just
straight rap artist it.
Just went from there all the way on out.
Yeah. But
enough about him, because he was terrible. Everyone else was good.
So first off that day, we saw Muscadine Bloodline, who are really good. They're a duo who sing a good song called WD-40 and Porch Swing Angel are both really good songs.
Yeah, and they're one of those artists where I had not really listened to them that much. I'd heard their stuff on Spotify a little bit, but you had ranted, or raved, not ranted, you'd raved about them being good.
Ranted and raved.
And I noticed when they were playing live, they're one of those, they're really good live because, a huge part of their act is them harmonizing, and they can do it live, so you know it's not just bullshit. And so, yeah, they were very good. Definitely check them out.
Yeah, so then after them, there was 2 artists we didn't care to see, and then, during Muscadine Bloodline, we were sitting there watching, and from, behind the gate next to the stage where all the artists stand, we just see a bunch of people walk out, and I look over there, I'm like, that's Mike Ryan. And then we're like, yes, we think so, so we Googled him just to make sure.
It definitely looked like him.
Yeah,
but he was
because
wearing sunglasses, so you got to just double check.
Yeah, we're like, I'm pretty sure that's him. So I'm like, screw it, let's go over, say hi. Like normally I don't like bothering people, but I was like, you know what? He's standing out in the crowd watching the band. Screw it, let's go do it. So we walk up to him. I tap him on the shoulder. I'm like, "Are you Mike Ryan?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Sweet, this is me." Like, this is me. My name's Steve. This is my cousin Kevin. We founded a site called Country Hodgepodge. We put you on a list of artists to check out and all this. And he's like, "Oh, that's awesome." And we talked to him for, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, and then we took a picture with him, and he was like incredibly nice. He was
he was super nice. He actually like seemed. I mean, maybe he didn't give a shit to talk to us, but he seemed interested in talking with us. And like before we left, he was just like, hey, "What's your names again?" Just so I know. Like, and so he was interested in talking with us, and I thought that was really cool because he certainly didn't need to. He literally could have just turned around and been like, "I don't know who Mike Ryan is," and then all right, fuck me, and walked away.
Yeah, exactly.
But then he goes on, and he was really good live.
God. He was. Well, I don't know. I can't say he's the highlight of the day because every artist was amazing that
Seriously.
day. So.
But
he was so good. Yeah,
the one thing I would say is the fact that, so I liked a bunch of his songs anyway, but I didn't like actively listen to him as much. But after seeing him live, I was like, this is a guy that I got to get back on to listening to his music and like learning the words and everything. And so like I had texted you, like as I drove from Chicago back to Iowa, I just re-listened through all of the album Bad Reputation probably like 2 times in a row, just because I was like, this album is great, this music is great, and yes.
Yeah, and it's also funny because he's one of those artists who has a lot of songs that have like a really funny sense of humor. Like he did that song Rewrite, which was so funny, because I just remember like the one line, he's like, "You don't like when I drink, so tonight I'm getting plowed." Like
yes the whole premise with the song was he's like, "I wrote this song for this girl, but she's not in the picture anymore, so I had to rewrite it." And then he just went into it, and that line made me so happy. Just like, "You don't like when I drink, so tonight I'm getting plowed." I'm like,
yeah, that was such a great song. Like, well, all of his songs are good, yeah, because I had listened to, a good chunk of his songs, not all of them, but, once we saw him, I went through all of his albums, and my favorite song, it's still up there just because I know it already, it was Putting Off Telling Me Goodbye. That song is really good. I really love that song, but there are so many other songs off that CD that are, like, so amazing, and he performed a good chunk of them, and then he performed his 2 songs from his new CD. I'm hoping Rewrites on his new CD because that's a great song. But he did Sad Song and New Hometown, which are both really, really good songs.
Yep.
And so we're definitely counting down until his new CD comes out because that's going to be awesome. And then I don't know, we'll probably do an episode on him eventually. But once we learn his stuff a little more and learn about him a little better.
I'm gonna for sure check to see if he ever comes back around. I did a quick check of his tour from here, like what he's got posted. Every single one is in Texas.
Yeah, I figured as much. Usually after an artist travels a little bit, they just stay in Texas for a couple months.
And I figured, but I was like, but he was good. But then after him, we saw, who'd we see first after him that we cared about? Was Brandy Clark first?
Stony LaRue, I believe.
LaRue. No, Brandy Clark was... No, I don't remember. Either way, let's talk about both of them. Stony LaRue.
It was Stony LaRue.
I love Stony LaRue. It was one of those where we had to run across the venue from stage to stage because they just kept
because they literally started as the last song ended. Like they would just go. Yeah,
so we missed a bit of it, but it was still good. I still like Stony LaRue a lot. I got on the Jumbotron, so that was cool.
That was so awesome. You're just
when I say I was on the Jumbotron, let me tell you, it wasn't just me in a sea of people. It started that way, and then it just zoomed.
It zoomed right into your face,
right onto me.
That was so funny because you and Josh are just doing the no balls little like hand motion of just pretty much, obviously no one can see this, but it's just like waving your hand with a limp wrist, and it just went in, it just zoomed in on Kevin and Josh doing that, and it was so funny.
We also
and
got on it again later.
Yeah, it zoomed in on you again later. That was really funny. That cameraman was having a lot of fun doing that.
I really enjoyed that. That was great.
Yeah, but Stoney LaRue's not one have listened to a lot. I know a couple songs by him, but he was obviously really good live.
Yeah, no, and I could tell that a lot of people didn't know the words to the songs, like not just you guys, just that entire crowd. Well, and so I was jamming out, I was enjoying it. I didn't, I was fine that the crowd wasn't as into it, which kind of sucked. But I mean, I loved it.
It just sucks. I mean, I don't want to be like uber hipster about it, but we like every artist up until Luke Combs. Even Luke Combs, a lot of people didn't know a lot of his songs, but like every artist
until
up until
he played Hurricane, saw the video of him playing Hurricane, and the whole crowd cheered.
The entire crowd was But every artist up to then, there'd be like 1 out of every 10 or 5 or 10 people would be singing the words to each song. And then, then up until, when Luke Combs came on, a lot of people were singing his songs. And it just sucks. I mean, I'm glad people were there watching, getting, introduced to these bands. But at the same time, it's like, I wish you guys already all knew these bands, because they're so good.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I do have to say is I saw on the Windy City Smokeout website that there was some, I mean, and this, it could be just all bullshit too, but they had some quote from some Nashville something. And it was just like, it just said that it was like the Windy City Smokeouts made a name for itself, kind of like not debuting, but just kind of like showing the next wave of, I think they used the term Nashville heavyweights or something like that. Yeah, and I was like, I was like, I mean, to be fair, that's dumb, other than Luke Combs probably going to continue to catapult forward. But if that's their mindset, that they're trying to get people before they get big, I will gladly keep going back to the Windy City Smokeout, because that probably means their lineup's going to keep being good.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to go back last year. This is the second year in a row I've gone, and it was...
I'm very happy with it. The barbecue is phenomenal. Anytime you have beer at barbecue and country music, fuck, you're gonna have to make a really bad lineup for me to not want to go back, especially because even if the next year's lineup has a bunch of days that are really good, I would go into Chicago and out, and it's not like Country Thunder where it's an unbelievable commitment in time because you got to stay there. We could take the train in, take the train out. I will definitely be going back to the Smokeout next year, unless the lineup is balls. Yeah, we can.
Just Sunday at the Smokeout was better than the entire weekend, 4 days of Country Thunder.
Yeah,
but
entirety.
We can talk about that after this. But
yes.
So after Stoney LaRue was William Clark Green. We had to go back over, and it was just him and one guitarist, which was really cool. A really cool.
They had a lot. They had a lot of really good sound from the two of them playing acoustic.
Yeah, and then obviously he played Sympathy, so all was right in the world. And I just liked how when he started off Ringling Road, he's like, "I wrote this song. I didn't think anyone would like it, but people do." and then he just sang Ringling Road. And that was really funny. But so William Clark Green is good. He looks like Haley Joel Osment.
Yes, he does.
Then after that, we had to run back to the other stage again for Brandy Clark, who I have to applaud, not just because, one, she's amazing, but
she is amazing.
She played slow songs.
Yes,
and
she did.
It was insane because usually at a festival like that, they don't play slow songs. It's always like, oh, it's everyone who's here having a good time. We got to play the drinking songs. Got to do this song, that song, this song. But she played Hold My Hand.
Yeah, when she played Hold My Hand, I was like, damn.
Yeah, she opened with Stripes, which is probably my favorite Brandy Clark song. We need to make a top list for the socials for the old podcast.
Yeah, no, we gotta go back.
She did that. She did what she did. She did Get High. She did
the Girl Next Door.
Yeah, Girl Next Door. Yeah, she just did a bunch of slower songs, really, and it was really cool knowing that I knew she wouldn't do Since You Gone to Heaven because that's really slow. But
that's the one that after she played Hold My Hand, I was like, maybe.
Maybe she'll do it. But she didn't do that one. But she plays all of her. She played her new song You're Drunk, which is a pretty goofy song because it's just about you only call me when you're wasted type thing. And then after that we had to run back again for Sonny Sweeney, who was amazing. And
So good.
I always knew from her Instagram that she was funny, but holy hell, she is hilarious. Like on stage, she played the song. She hasn't ever released it, so maybe one day she will. Probably not. It's probably just a song she plays live. But "Whiskey Richard" is the funniest fucking song I've heard in a long time.
I love that she like prefaced it with, I don't know if she said, "Do you guys want to hear an inappropriate song?" or just, "I'm going to play an inappropriate song."
Well, she just goes, "We're on the Whiskey Jam stage, so it's only fitting we sing a song about whiskey dick."
Yeah, and so the song was titled "Whiskey Richard," and it was fantastic.
And it's just about a dude who can't get it up, and it was, oh my god, it was hilarious. So if anyone ever sees Sunny Sweeney live, that song is.
Yeah, and she's just really good. Like, and the thing I wanted to actually say, like, speaking of just all of the artists and sounding really good live, the thing I love about country and good country artists, like the ones we saw, they sound good live, one, and two, they sound like the sound you hear on the album. It's not like you have to have a shit ton of post-production to try to get this sound you're looking for. They make it themselves because they're just instruments, voices, boom, and it just all sounded great.
And that's what I love, because I go off tangent really quickly. Like, I don't know, I know you've probably heard the story, but any of the listeners might not. When Alan Jackson was performing and they asked him to make a backing track, which is what they use to make themselves sound better live, and he's like, "No, I don't want to do that." But then they made him anyway, so he said, "All right, screw it," and told his drummer to play without sticks.
Without sticks, yep.
Just to show, like, yeah, we pre-recorded this, and so it's all bullshit. And because he was just so mad that they made him do that. So the fact that country artists actually believe in their craft, and smaller artists, obviously the big stadium ones are going to do all that shit to make themselves sound the best they can, but these super talented smaller artists are just like, no, we're going to play how we want to play. Well, Alan Jackson's obviously not a smaller artist, but yes. So that was and Sunny Sweeney, she played "Bottle by My Bed," which is an amazing song. Other than that, she played mostly just kind of upbeat songs, which is fine, because she has a lot of good upbeat songs as well as sad songs. Because I obviously, neither of us expected her to stop and play Unsaid or anything like that. Like,
what the hell?
yeah. So that wasn't gonna happen. So, but yeah, she was amazing. I cannot wait to see her again. She posted on Instagram today that she's playing with Whitey Morgan tonight, and I'm very angry that that's not a concert I'm at. Because angry. But yeah, so I cannot wait to see Sunny Sweeney again someday. Hopefully, sooner than later.
We definitely will at some point. She was really good.
And then finally, before we left, we had to get back over there. And for every artist, we were probably 10, 15, 20 feet away from them. Luke Combs, we could not get within 100 yards of that stage.
It was just a mass of people.
Yeah, because it like I know we've talked about this on the podcast, but if you're tuning in just today for Aaron Watson, we've seen Luke Combs. I've seen him twice. You've seen him once, right? Yeah, and both times.
Well, now twice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen him 3 times now. Yeah, but the first time we saw him was like March of 2016, and it was Joe's Bar, and it was empty. Like, it was a Thursday, but any bigger artist is going to still sell out a bar on a Thursday, especially in Chicago. But it was fucking empty. We were front row. He cheered us a few times, and
it was just badass. And the small group, even though it was a small group, the small group that was there watching, it seemed like everybody knew the words. It wasn't just like a bunch of randos who had strolled in. And
there were a couple randos, because I remember the girls behind us. I kept telling them to call you a pussy, and they wouldn't do it. And then
upsetting.
And they didn't sing a single word to any song. They were just there to be.
But I'd also remember there was that one drunk dude who turned to us and was like, "Oh, you guys know the words too?"
Yeah. So it was insane that a year ago, like a little over a year ago, we were in an empty bar, and now we can't even get close to the stage, and all of a sudden everyone's a huge fan of Luke Combs. And I don't care how annoyingly hipster we are for saying this, but yeah, we were there from not the beginning, but from pretty much
early on.
Right when that peak started rising, that's where we kind of hopped on, and it's just, so it's kind of sucked that we couldn't get up there. And then of course everyone's like, "I'm a huge Luke Combs fan." It's like, yeah, we've been listening for 2 years. Leave me alone. But
it was a great day.
But yeah, and he sang "Used to You," which was a shock. We did not expect that one.
Yeah.
But then he also sang "She Got the Best of Me," which isn't surprising, but that song's amazing. And then we left like right before Hurricane because we were just like, we've heard it before, we've heard it a million times, so let's just get out of here. And then, but obviously, but then we saw the Instagram post that he posted, which was funny because it said "wait till the end." I was like, "Why? What's at the end?" And then he dabs. I was just like, "Oh God, come on." But it was cool the fact that he had a couple thousand people singing "Hurricane" back to him. That has to be an amazing feeling. Like,
oh yeah,
I can't even imagine standing on stage and singing a song and having everyone sing it back. That's unbelievable. But so I mean, I'm happy he's blowing up, but at the same time, it's like, no, let us be in the front. We know him more.
But I mean, also that venue too. I just it was filling in consistently throughout the day, and so by the time he went on,
like the first
it was
two
just
times,
totally full.
Yeah, like the first two times we went back and forth stage to stage was really quick, and then like by the time we were going back from like Brandy Clark to Sunny Sweeney, we're like, why is it so crowded?
Yeah. Also, I do got to applaud the Windy City Smokeout for their cashless deal. That was badass.
Oh, that was so cool.
So they had it set up where you had to like register your wristband like ahead of time to get in, and so like when you walked in, you just literally like stuck your wrist onto like a like kind of like
little scanner thing.
Yeah, so like as if you're going into like the subway or like taking the train or whatever, like in the city to like get on the L, like boop, and then you got in. And then once you were in, you could have your credit card linked to your wristband. And so when you went to buy shit, you would just be like, give me a beer, and then you'd be like, okay. And then you just put your wrist like right on top of the little cash register thingy, iPad-looking bastards that they had. And then you had to like put a PIN number in there to say that was you, and you just poked it in, enter, and it was done.
So it was secure if anyone stole your wristband. They couldn't just be using it to buy shit because you had a PIN. But that was really cool, and I was like, this is the future.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot because then you just didn't have to take your phone out or wallet out or anything. Just boop.
Yeah, it was really cool. So Windy City Smokeout. If anyone from the Chicago area or Illinois Midwest area is looking for an awesome festival, go to Windy City Smokeout next year. It is amazing.
It is badass.
Hopefully Aaron Watson will be there, who we're going to talk about. But yeah, so I guess we could talk really quickly about this upcoming weekend is Country Thunder, and thunder is going to be apparent because it's supposed to storm every single day. Be in the 90s and storming every single day.
So you mean the same weather as last year?
I didn't storm every day last year, just like 2 of the 3 days.
Felt like it stormed every day last year.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was. It just sucks because 2 years ago it was the perfect weather and it was amazing. But so like we said, Windy City Smokeout, the Sunday had a better lineup than the entire weekend of Country Thunder this year. Like Thursday is Billy Currington. I know I texted you, I can't think of it, but Thursday was Billy Currington. Friday was one artist, I can't remember who. And then there were 2 artists every day this weekend, and none of them are the headlines because all the headliners suck except Billy Currington. But so it's just after last year, I was just like, I'm not gonna go next year. And the lineup hadn't even been announced yet. And then when they announced the lineup, I was just like, thank God I didn't buy a ticket for this. Like it's
it's just so much fucking money.
Yeah, that's
the problem.
It sucks.
It's a time and money commitment, and if you're not going to see good artists, because like Windy City Smokeout, there are options to see good artists.
Yeah.
So fuck having to take PTO and then take all the. I don't even remember how much the tickets are, but then just buying, and then you got to like buy festival food for like one of your meals every day. Basically, it just like makes it so much more expensive.
Yeah, and then that's not really that doesn't bother me if the lineup was worth it.
Yeah, and that's actually what I'm saying. Like I'm not going to do that for a shit lineup.
Yeah, and then and it sucks because we have so many good friends who go, but I was going to go up just for Saturday because you could buy one-day tickets, but one-day tickets this year are $75, and I'm like, I'm not dropping $75 to go for a day. We went to Windy City Smokeout for $40. And that was
way better.
Yeah, an amazing lineup. It was worth every fucking penny. Yeah. Well, I mean, I spent like $50 or $60 on drinks also, but that's whatever. That's any festival. But yeah, so it's like, but for anyone who does like that kind of music and likes dealing with 16-year-old drunk people, Country Thunder's awesome, and I hope you guys have fun at it this weekend. But if the lineup's better next year, I might go, just because I do. When the weather's not shit, it's not hot as balls, and the lineup's good, it's like the most fun, because everyone at Country Thunder's super friendly, except for the drunk high schoolers who just like stealing shit and acting like they can hold their booze, even though they cannot. Because no high schooler can hold their booze, and anyone who says they
also
can is a
known
liar.
as the worst people on the planet.
Yeah. So, yes. Yeah, I don't know. Like, so, obviously, down the road, we're going to do a Medicine Stone episode, and that's going to be a lot better, because Medicine Stone has a great lineup, and hopefully it'll be, like, just a better version of Country Thunder, even though it's farther away. But,
yeah. Excited about it.
Yeah, so Country Thunder, yeah, it's this weekend, so if anyone's going to that, I'm going to post a article either tonight or tomorrow about, like, survival tips for Country Thunder. It's not really, because I don't really care to post about the music, because I don't care about the music, because none of it's good, or most of it's not good. William Michael Morgan is, like, the one who I'd really want to see, and Tracy Lawrence, but the rest I'm just like, nah, girl, nah. But yeah, so anyway, who isn't at Country Thunder is Aaron Watson!
Yeah,
who's our topic of the week. So he's an artist that I discovered, oh god, it had to have been 2012 maybe or something, when he released Raise Your Bottle, because I remember hearing that song, because I saw it on Spotify, and I was just like, I wonder, or not Spotify, I didn't know Spotify then, on iTunes, and I was like, I wonder if this guy's any good. So I downloaded Raise Your Bottle, and it was amazing. And I remember I showed it to you and the Drunkles. Like, every time I went up to Hayward, I'd play it, and no one knew what the hell it was. And then finally, when The Underdog came out 3 years later, you guys were like, oh, I should have been listening to Aaron Watson. I'm like, I've been playing this song for you for years.
And I knew that song, but yeah, no, I never looked into it otherwise.
Yeah, so yeah, Aaron Watson I've been listening to since about 2012, but he's been releasing albums for 13 years before that, so he's been around
all of recorded history.
Yeah, so obviously, if you're listening because you're a fan of Aaron Watson, you know everything, and you probably know more about him than us. But because we're if you've never listened before, we're from Illinois, so we don't. So
Speak
Kevin,
for yourself.
Well, you're from Illinois. You're just living in Iowa now.
From Iowa now.
Yay! But so we live in the north, obviously, and so we didn't really get into Texas country until about, I don't know, 2013 or so, when we got Spotify, because that's when we started finding all the, like, I had heard Randy Rogers Band before, I had heard Josh Abbott Band, I had heard a couple of bands like that, like the bigger, like the huge ones.
And it was limited. At least in my experience, it was limited to some of the more, you could say, like, radio-friendly singles. Like, not that I wanted to listen to quote-unquote radio-friendly singles, but those would be the only ones I'd really see, because before, like, when Spotify, we just first got Spotify, I wasn't really, like, using all the features of it, and then if we'd get, like, you know, a song by a guy, I'd be like, oh, that's a good song, and, like, add that to a playlist or something, but not really...
Yeah.
Using Spotify to dive into all these artists and all the music they have and all the related artists that you then find because of that.
Yeah, like the artists I had found. Actually, I'm pretty sure both Randy Rogers and Josh Abbott Band I found through GAC, because they used to actually play a lot of good country music videos. So I would listen. So I found Interstate by Randy Rogers Band and She's Like Texas by Josh Abbott Band. So that's how I kind of found those artists. But then, yeah, Aaron Watson I found through iTunes once. But so we're pretty much like in our infancy of knowing Texas artists. Like, I mean, obviously we listen to a lot of it, so we're pretty adept in that. But like knowing about like the history of like Texas country and shit like that, that's kind of newer to us, because we've only had it for about 5-ish years or so. But so Aaron Watson, the first CD I heard by him was Real Good Time, and since then he's had The Underdog and Vaquero come out, and all three CDs are real good. Like, when we get to our top songs, it was really hard to choose which ones we wanted to put on, because out of his 18-year career, he has a lot of good songs.
This might be a shocker to you, or maybe not, I don't know. I have 0 Vaquero songs on my top 10.
I have 1.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's not my top 5. It's number 7. I have Arrow. It's a really good one. But anyway, but before we get into our top list, Aaron Watson he didn't explode, but
he's Chris Ledoux.
He became that's
basically how I think of Aaron Watson. I think he's basically the most modern, or not the most modern, but like a modern version of Chris Ledoux, the independent artist from Texas who doesn't give a shit about conforming to anything, makes his own music, and is just good.
And and then it was like right before his CD.
And sings a lot of cowboy songs.
Yeah, it was like right before his CD, The Underdog, came out. Like some Nashville bigwig came out and it's like, if you're not on the radio, you don't exist. And then The Underdog came out and became the first independent album, country album ever to top the charts. And so it premiered at number 1. And so Aaron Watson had this rebuttal, like right as it came out. He goes, I'm not on the radio and I do exist, or whatever he said, like something along those lines. And it's just like, yes, suck it, Nashville. And it was so fitting because
he's got the Fence Post song.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was fitting because on that CD he has Fence Post, which is like it's pretty much just shit talking. Like he went up to Nashville to try and follow his dreams, and the guy who couldn't strum a D chord, quote unquote, is telling him that he's not good, and it's just like, how the hell do you know? So he goes back to Texas and he starts selling out dance halls and stuff, because he's obviously, like I said, if you're a fan, you know this, like he's huge in Texas. He's a superstar. He's made a really good career off the music he has. I've seen pictures that he posts on Instagram of his house, and wow,
he's got a nice place.
Yeah,
nice place.
Yeah, so like he's very, he's good down it. So he said he'd rather be just another artist pretty much in Texas than try and be like the king of Tennessee. So it's great that CD comes out and blows away anything else that was released that week, and it was his number 1 hit. And then Vaquero came out and it became it peaked at number 2 on the charts, but that's still pretty damn good. But yeah, so I don't know if we have anything really else to say before we get to the top.
He's just super Texan.
Yeah. Very, very good observation, Kevin.
That's all I got.
Yeah, anyway. So if anything else comes up, we'll shout it out as we go. But might as well get into our top 5. So Kevin, number 5.
Number 5 is Raise Your Bottle, that we talked about briefly.
Yes.
It's a perfect, remember the military, and their sacrifices and the ones that are overseas song. It's basically it. I mean, there's not like a whole lot going on. He name drops a bunch of different, famous battlefields, but it's just a great song, and support the troops, basically.
Yeah, and it's pretty much just kind of like he has the line, nobody sings his songs and all this kind of stuff. Like he's like, they're kind of underappreciated, and they deserve the spotlight. So raise your bottle for him, and remember all the fallen, and remember all the prices they had to pay, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my number 5 was I Don't Want You to Go, which it's what it's called on one of his CDs, but on another one of his CDs is called I Don't Want You to Go, But I Need You to Leave. So
yeah. Well, because it was that on his. I don't even know if it's his first album, but the first one that's on Spotify.
One of his first albums.
Yeah, that's what it is, and it's got I mean, he's done this a lot, though. I
Where
noticed
he re-releases songs?
Yeah, like a lot of them.
Yeah, like Reckless, I Don't Want You to Go, the Honky Tonk Kid. He's Barbed Wire Halo. He's re-released a lot
I got
of songs.
really confused like when I listened through his like CDs on shuffle, because like, and it's not just a re-release in the sense of like it's the exact same audio. Like he like actually re-records and redoes it.
Yeah. And
so you'll hear a song, and then like a couple songs later you'll hear the same song, only slightly different. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, yeah. So he's done that a lot. But yeah, that song I like just because it's kind of like I love you, but you're kind of a bitch. So I don't want you to go because I love you, but I really need you to leave. Like,
you're crazy, and I need that out of my life.
Yeah, it's a situation. Obviously, me and Kevin and any other male ever has been in, and even females have been in that situation. So yeah, I just really like that one because it's just kind of clever.
I do like that one.
It's kind of like a funny take on the I hate to see her go, but love to watch her leave, and it's instead like I don't want you to go, but I need you to leave.
Yeah, I had that one at number 7 because I like that one a lot.
7. I need a 7.
This is ironic. I don't even know if ironic is the right word, but my
Probably
number
not.
4, my number 4 is July in Cheyenne, and so now when I look at it on my phone, it says 4th of July in Cheyenne,
That's not irony at all.
Your irony. And I know that it's not. I just started speaking before I realized that it wasn't.
Good job.
So I had to keep going.
But yeah, this song is insanely depressing because it's about
the dead cowboy Lane something.
God damn it, Kevin.
I don't know what his I want to say it was like Lane Frost or something like that. But that could be completely wrong. And I'll feel really bad for any Texas people that are down there that are like, fuck you don't know about Lane. I'm like, shit.
It's Lane Frost. Yeah, we're not
nailed it.
We're not huge rodeo fans, so yeah, we don't know the whole big thing.
Shocker to anyone who's not from where we're from who's listening. Rodeos don't really exist up here.
They do, but they're very small.
Yeah, and so it's not that I would say that I'm not a fan because I haven't had the opportunity to be a fan. I would totally fucking go. That'd be badass. I've been to one at the iWireless. It was cool.
I was gonna say,
but it was like the one time.
Yeah,
I went to that one time and it was really cool.
Yeah,
but it was the one time.
Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty much just a song about like how kind of the whole heartbeat of Texas skipped that day when Lane Frost got injured in a bull riding accident and then died later.
Yeah, he got killed, got hit in the ribs, and then died.
Yeah.
And so in parentheses on the song, it says "Song for Lane's Mama."
Yeah. So I remember in concert, he said this was the first song he wrote after his daughter died, which was kind of crazy. Because at first when he said this is the first song I wrote after my daughter died, I thought he was talking about Blue Bonnets, but he was talking about this song, and so yeah, it obviously means a lot to Aaron Watson because obviously he sings about the rodeo a lot, so he obviously is a huge rodeo fan. So
yep,
and he's really close with Lane Frost's family, so that's why he wrote about it. But
yep,
my number 4 is One of Your Nights, which is from The Underdog, and it's pretty much just like
banging.
Yeah, it's a banging song. It's a love song. It's just like, I've had one of those days, so I need one of your nights. And it's pretty much just like, I'm getting home from a shitty day, so we need to get it on.
Yeah, it's a great one. I'm a fan.
It's just a really, really good, slow love song. So it's one I've listened to a lot and when me and my singleness and singing about love. Number 3.
Number 3. What are you laughing at?
Just me. I'm hilarious.
No way. My number 3 is The Prayer off of The Underdog.
Yes. This is the opening song. And
it was a perfect song that, like, for me not really listening to him that much until this album came out, then it kicked off with this, and I was just like, holy shit. Okay. To be honest, I think the song is really, like, I don't know exactly what it's supposed to be about, other than, like, it's about, like, things not always as they seem. It's a lot of metaphors, like he's like on my high horse, but the horse is going to buckle at its knee, and I've got this crown, but it's
castle made of sand.
So it's all of these metaphors about like being on top of the world, but then it really not being that, or it's like about to crumble, and all those kind of things. And so I think it's kind of like I feel like it's like a humbleness type song, or like a always remember your place in the world and kind of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty much just kind of like his world's kind of crumbling apart around him, and what is the high and mighty that he thought he had is not as high as he thought it was.
Well, and since he's super religious, I wouldn't doubt that it's from the religious sense, not getting too big for your britches because you've always got to answer to God. And I feel that's got to be a part of it.
Yeah, the last line in the song is, "Lord, I'm just a man, I cannot be the king of me." So I think it's kind of like he's also kind of giving in to the Lord of like, it's up to you to like raise me up type thing.
Yeah.
My number 3 was July in Cheyenne, so it's
Cowboys.
Yes.
All right. My number 2, almost said 3 because counting is hard.
And you're an accountant.
Shh. My number 2 is Lonely Lubbock Lights off of Shut Up and Dance, and I fucking love this song. There was only one other song I could put in front of it because I love that other song more, but Lonely Lubbock Lights is great. It's about the decision to pursue music and left his lady to go do that, and after he's done with the show and he's just driving and he's trying to figure out, where he went wrong because he's, feeling sadness and whatever, but he chose the life of playing music and going for it over not going for it and staying back. And so he says there's no love in sight, just the lonely Lubbock lights.
Yeah. Yeah, really, that one's a good one. That one's not on my top 10, but I do like that one.
Well,
like I
wrong.
said, I had to bring it down from like 25 songs. It was really, really hard. Yeah. My number
right.
2,
you're just wrong.
Yeah, my number 2, we already went over it. I had to put it this high just because it's what got me into them and everything. Razor Bottle's number 2 for me. Yeah, which we went over. It's that song.
Great,
and all that.
great. My number 1. The only song that I knew for sure was going to be number 1 before I even started making the list, Barbed Wire Halo. I fucking love this song. It's like kind of super depressing because he talks about how it's about this guy dying and him being kind of like a grandparent figure to him, but now he's up in heaven. But it's just kind of super sad because the guy like had no kids and his wife died and all that shit, but now he's up in heaven, so
and
he had we know that he's all good now.
He had like this rough life, so he has a barbed wire halo. It's like not
exactly
made of gold
so he's got a barbed wire halo, so he's still in heaven because he's a good dude, but he lived a rough life. I fucking love this song.
Yeah, that's a good one. My number 1 though was Blue Bonnets, just because it's just so beautifully written. It's kind of like at first it talks about like him losing his grandpa, but then it goes into the true story of his daughter who he lost at birth. And so it's pretty much just kind of like these blue bonnets are beautiful, but they'll be dying by the fall. So soak everything in and live your life to the fullest because someday everything will be gone type thing.
Couple things about that song. So you can finish. Sorry.
There's
a couple things about that song. For the longest time, I had the misheard lyric right at the beginning. He talks about his grandpa, and then he says like the leaves were falling down. I always thought he just said like one day I turned around and he was falling down, and I was just like,
depressing.
Well, that's what I was just like. Oh my god, like he's just falling over, like. Shit. And so I always thought it was that, and then it made more sense. I also didn't know blue bonnets were like a flower.
Oh.
So I literally thought it was like the blue things that like people on the prairie wear on their head. And I was like, why the fuck do those matter?
Aaron Watson's actually just a huge fan of Little House on the Prairie.
Well, that's what I thought. Like, I thought the song was so beautiful, and I'm like, who the fuck cares about these head things?
I mean,
this is ridiculous. It's a beautiful song, but what the fuck?
I guess I can't give you too much shit because there's a lot of lyrics in a lot of country songs where a northerner might not get it. Like Whippoorwill, that's not something that's really well known in the north.
It's a bird.
Well, yeah, I know that, but because
you at least know
like Zebco and
okay, Zebco's one that people wouldn't get. Whippoorwill, you at least most people should know that it's a bird, so you might not know what it sounds like. But blue bonnets. I was thinking the fucking head things, and I had no idea what the hell the deal was, and so I honestly think that the song probably isn't as. I still have it on my top 10. I gotta pull up what I even had it at. I had it at 6, so I like that song a lot, but I feel like it could be even higher if for the first several times I listened to it, I didn't think he was singing about his grandpa falling over, and then he's just like, damn, those head things are beautiful. Only in the spring, though, then they're going to be gone, because apparently you can't wear them anymore. I was like, the hell is this song about?
God damn it, Kevin.
Or it was about Blue Bunny ice cream. Oh, Blue Bunny ice cream, sorry.
Yeah. The thing I noticed about this top list that I was making is I had a lot of quicker, he's the first artist that I've had real dance country. I've had upbeat songs on my list before, but none like this. On this list, I
line
have
dancing.
Yeah, I have Summertime Girl at 6 because it's just such a happy song, and then I also have Fast Car Slow Kisses, which is just about online dating and meeting someone who wants an adventurous kind of relationship and stuff. I realized that I was a lot, and he also has a lot of baby making songs like That Look and kind of stuff like that, and so he's and That Look and whatnot. But yeah, I said that already. Blame on the Baby Blues, whatever. But yeah, so he has such he can go from really, because especially listening to his old, I'm babbling, but I go into his older CDs, he has a lot of dance hall country songs.
Oh yeah,
most artists today don't they have songs you can dance to, and even the most country of country have dancing songs, but he has dance hall country picking fiddle boot stomping country.
Well, that's what I think of this song I didn't include on my top 10, but one that always has a special place in my heart, especially after we saw him live, was the song Getaway Truck, because that fiddle line in Getaway Truck is such an awesome line, awesome, is it a riff on a fiddle? What do you call it? Is it a riff lick? I don't know. Whatever the hell it is, that sequence of notes put together, I love it. I love it, and that's exactly the same kind of thing where that's not one of his older ones from Underdog, but that kind of beat and quickness and tempo, I could imagine if he wasn't playing at Joe's, there probably would be a lot of people dancing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so that's what because even in his songs he talks about selling out dance halls, because that's the music he's playing. He's playing this really good boot stomping country music, which is a rarity nowadays, even from the best of the best. Cody Jinks and Whitey Morgan are two of the best in country music, but they don't have any songs like that to dance to. They just have really well written songs.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
I think it's a testament to, I think, the fact that Aaron Watson's been making music in Texas almost exclusively for a long time, and now he's getting out there and for sure touring around the country.
Yeah, because I've seen him.
It's where he's from. It's where he got big, and that's probably what a lot of people wanted to hear, and that's probably how he got his start.
Well, yeah, because I remember when I first started listening to him, and up through Underdog being released, he was always just in Texas. I would look at his tour, and he was always in Texas. Because I still remember this when I was borderline blackout drunk on the first time I went out for St. Patty's Day to Davenport. It was when I hopped the bus to go across the river to hang out with some of the guys at school, and I was on the bus just looking at my email, and I got an email announcing his concerts, and it said he was at Joe's, and I remember drunkenly texting you he's at Joe's in April, we have to go, or whatever month it was, and
that says as much about my state of mind, because I remember nothing of that.
Well, you were asleep, because that's why I went over to the other side of the river by myself, because I was the only one awake.
Your story checks out.
but yeah, I've seen Aaron Watson 3 times now, but yeah, that was the first time we went, which was awesome. Which we could talk about that really quick. We went, and that's where we were introduced to the band Wheelhouse, who is an amazing bluegrass band from Madison.
Shout out to Wheelhouse, because their live bluegrass rendition of "Comfortably Numb" is in the top 5 of live songs I've ever heard. That experience of watching them play that live was so amazing that I just off the top of my head, I can't really think of that many other live things that just blew my mind and took my breath away. Holy shit, this just they're just doing such a good job with all their instruments and everything. It just sounds great.
Yeah, and then they also did the cover of Long Hot Summer Day, which is a Turnpike Troubadour song. And then they played their own ones. I love that Shot in the Beer, Shot in the Beer. That's
and then that was a great day too because like Aaron Watson was he's either sponsored or was was doing like a fundraiser thing for
Shinerbach.
It was Shinerbach, but it was like for Wounded Warriors, I want to say.
Yeah,
and so they were like, if you buy Shinerbach, a certain amount of the proceeds go towards this. And so we were there with our dads, and they just bought like, I don't know, a fucking Abrams tank worth of pitchers. So like,
yeah, and that was
great.
And that was the concert where that dude who was missing like 3 of his 4 limbs came on stage and talked, and he started that concert with Raise Your Bottle in honor of him, and then but it was funny because I still remember him up on stage, and he's like, "Who served in the armed forces?" And one guy goes, "Rangers lead the way," and he just goes to the gay bar. Which apparently is just a very common phrase.
He was not a ranger.
Yeah, it was really funny. But yeah, that was an amazing concert. And then I saw him open for Casey Donahue later with a girl who no longer speaks to me because I am not a liberal. And then I saw no, that's not a joke. I remember one time some girl posted something about women's rights or something, and I told her it's not the government's job to pay for your women's rights, and then she blocked me on Facebook, and I've never talked to her since.
Well, it's very problematic that you have such regressive views, Stephen.
I know.
I don't know if we're going to be able to continue this podcast.
I know, my bad. But anyway, and then I saw him another time at Joe's Live with Muhammad, and then yeah. Anyway, so he's amazing. I can't wait to see him again at some point.
Good.
But yeah, so country, not country, so yeah, just kidding. We don't do that anymore.
He's obviously country.
Unless
we were to hypothetically answer that question.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, we haven't really done a sellout in a while because now we're just kind of at the point where we just like talking about artists we like rather than because I don't want to waste an episode on Thomas Rhett and be like, well, he's got those 2 good songs. So,
and I haven't said shit in my ears in a while, so.
Oh wow, Kevin, are you going through withdrawals?
I know. Oh no! This is the natural progression. We said we wouldn't talk about it unless it naturally came up. But speaking of shit in my ears, Dylan Scott's song is shit into my ears. Just ruining my ear canal. That's what that song is. All right. Enough of that.
If any of you follow Wheeler Walker Jr. on social media, you see how much he shit talks Dylan Scott, and it's hilarious. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Wheeler Walker fan, but I do love and appreciate what he does with music, and like his songs itself I don't care about, but I do like him and like the kind of the influence he's had recently. But yeah, he just shit talks Dylan Scott, and well, everyone who is against, or like every traditionalist has said the same thing. He's most well known for bringing fucking Chewbacca Mom onto the Grand Ole Opry stage.
Which is fucking retarded.
Yeah, like. How are...
Yeah. I don't want to go into a whole thing about him other than just saying that whatever the name of that song was, it's now number 1, is fucking terrible. I don't want to say anything other than that, but that's how I was going to able to work his music shits into my ears into the podcast.
The only thing I will say about Dylan Scott, to not be a complete Scrooge about him, is his song Crazy Over Me is not a bad song. It's actually pretty good. But other than that, he's shit. Yeah. Yeah, well, here's another way you can work shitting into my ears into the podcast. Album's coming out this week.
Oh, God. What is it?
First, well, they're not the worst ever, but they're not great. Parmalee, 27861 comes out on Friday, which is the area code of Parmalee, North Carolina, I think is where they're from. It's the zip code of the city they're from and they're named after, so it's Parmalee. So it's not a bad title.
They're not good.
Yeah, they're just kind of like they're like alternative rock country.
I just felt like they're just bland.
Yeah, like they have one song called Already Calling You Mine, which is like a rock-ish type song, like it's like an alternative rock song, but it's just kind of good. It's just like, what are you doing? I'm already, like, in my mind, you're already mine type song type thing. I don't know. It's not the worst thing ever, but yeah, they're whatever. I don't have anything against them. I don't listen to them. They're not a traditional country band,
Okay,
so don't
next.
think that. The only other one that I saw that's coming out this week is Sarah Evans has this album Words, and she's awesome. So
Yeah, no, I saw that she had that announced because like Twitter people have been like sharing it, but then the fact that it was called Words, all I thought of was just whatever words. That's all I could think of every time I read it.
The government classifies this truck as 8 tanks. Whatever.
Words. Exactly.
Yeah, no,
and so as soon as I read that, I couldn't get that out of my head.
I mean, I hope Sarah Evans is still good because her songs A Little Bit Stronger and Suds in the Bucket are both amazing country songs. So I'm hoping she still sticks to that kind of sound. I hope they don't. I hope they don't Shania Twain her.
Did you say that she hadn't released something in a certain amount of time?
I don't think she's released in a while.
Because I feel like it's been forever. Because I don't remember anything since like A Little Bit Strong. Which might not be accurate. But I don't remember anything since then.
Well, if she has, then it's been if they haven't peaked or anything, because I haven't heard about her in quite some time. But I'm looking at her online and she's beautiful. She had
Party.
in 2014 she had a Christmas album come out.
Don't get me on that fucking tangent again.
Oh no, she had a CD come out in 2014 also. It peaked at number 2. Her songs though, her song in 2014 peaked at 57, and then she hadn't had one peak since she had Slow Me Down, which peaked at 19 in 2013 or 17 on Airplay. But her last big song, was A Little Bit Stronger in 2010. So, she's kind of
essentially it has been a while since we've heard some good stuff.
She released one song a year, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, and then she hadn't released one until this year. So she was kind of gone for a while. So she's come back. I haven't heard any of her new stuff. I'll probably check it out eventually. But I've always liked her, so I'll check that one out. But
yeah, I'll give it a listen.
What we listening to, what we watching, what are we sniffing?
Listening to Mike Ryan a lot, sniffing glue, watching
Brotherhood.
I was gonna say baseball, I guess, because that's the only thing that's on right now.
Watching a lot of Hulu, playing a lot of Zelda.
Zoraldo.
Playing some Zoraldo, Lonk from Pennsylvania. I've been listening to Mike Ryan a lot, too. Obviously, we're going to have a little bit of bias of he's super nice, but that doesn't take away from the fact that his music is really good.
It is. It's really good, and he does it really good live. And so you should, if you're listening from Texas, because you checked out Aaron Watson, because it's our podcast, check him out, because he's touring somewhere down there. That state is massive.
I can guarantee they've checked him out because his last few singles have gone number 1 on the Texas charts. So
then you already know that you should check him out.
I was reading about him when I was doing that article of the artists you should check out at Windy City.
He's popular down there, just not up here. Yeah.
Well, because that's when I was writing the article, I wrote Stoney LaRue and Mike Ryan are two that if you only listen to mainstream, you've probably never heard of because they're pretty much unknown up here. But they're pretty big, obviously down there. So. So that's really it for this weekend, or this week.
I wish it was the weekend.
I know, right? But, if you look at the info in the, that I'm going to post with the podcast, all the podcast, social media stuff is gone. I'm getting rid of it because really all I use it for is uploading images saying our new podcast is up. So I'm just going to use the Country Hodgepodge pages for that until, who knows, maybe one day if the site blows up we could have two separate because people would actually care about the two. So for now, if you want to email us, you can email us at thehodgecast@gmail.com. I still have the email alive, but otherwise you can find Country Hodgepodge on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and the website countryhodgepodge.com. Any of the songs you want to listen to that we talk about every week, you can find our Spotify playlist, the Hodgepodcast Picks. Any of the dumb shirts I've made or good shirts I made if you're nice. You can find them at TeePublic. Just search Country Hodgepodge, or else it's teepublic.com/user/Clifftron. My Facebooks and Twitters are Steve Hodge Music. Kevin's Twitter is at Chargeford, spelled how it sounds. So that's it for this week. Next week, we're going to be talking about the great Sam Hunt.
Stay tuned.
So until next week, I am Steve Hodge, as always, joined by Kevin Hodge, saying goodbye, good night, and good Charlotte.